What is up, guys? It's Zura here, and today I have for you the most hyped up deck for set 21, being Brawlers. This deck has been hyped up to be like the best deck of the format by like everywhere. Mainly game with is cap as fuck, so take what they say with a grain of salt. Yeah, deck is really good. It took me a whole month to build. That's why it's so late. But this is I definitely still think Fish is better, but at the same time, I think this is the best deck for ladder by far, no questions asked. This is definitely the best deck for ladder. So yeah, without further ado, we'll do that later. This is deck profile. I'll do the usual, explain card by card. First off, the starter is the Draco Kid. I don't remember his name. It's the Draco Kid. It's the Great Researcher. Obviously Forerunner, and then CB1, put it into Soul. To check top 5, search your top 5 for a Grade 3 and add it to your hand. This card helps you secure your main ride, helps you secure extra Big Bang Knuckles to throw into your Soul to use the Big Bang Knuckle Buster's skill to hit 4 cards. So very good starter. The old starter that you did play before was the Fighting Draco Kid. Big Bang Buster now hits the back row by itself, so you really don't need the extra back row pop anymore. So that's why you definitely play this card. This starter is definitely the best starter by far, no questions asked for Brawlers. Yeah. PGs are PGs. I think old PGs are hella bad just because you still want counterblast in these decks. This deck a little less so, but I definitely don't want to lose the game because I got counterblasted and I couldn't kill them because of that. So I definitely think that the new PGs are the way to go. But if you like old PGs, I don't think it makes that big of a difference. Next up, I'll go over the Helena. The Helena shirt. So it's her, it's he, whatever. This card skill is when the attack that boosted hits a Vanguard, you can discard a card to draw a card. So it's a filter. It's like an Airmo from Kagero, but the reason this card's so good is because when you combine it with a Big Bang Knuckle Buster or the Big Bang Knuckle Dragon, you hit multiple times. So meaning that when you hit something, you get the filter. So when you're on the Big Bang Knuckle Buster, when you hit the 4 times, you get to filter 4 times with this one card all at once. So that's really good because you can toss out the garbage in your hand, try to fix your hand, grab PGs, more Knuckles for the follow-up. Your grade 2 rears at scale. So yeah, this card definitely is very crucial for the deck. I definitely would recommend playing 4 of it. Another card that I think is a mandatory 4 of is the Rising Phoenix. On play, so lets you draw a card. It's nice. It's a plus. It's since all your rear scale to like a bajillion power in this deck, this thing being a 5k booster doesn't matter. You're also putting cards into the soul with the Big Red Knuckle, so you can actually use these multiples of these games. So that's really nice. So just overall really nice card, and it's 2 cards in drop for Legion, so very good. And the last wolf is another filter. I don't remember his name, his brawler name, but that doesn't matter. On play, if your opponent has 1 or less front row rear guard, you can ditch your card to draw a card. It's a filter. Setting up, being able to Legion as quickly as possible in the deck is very important, so that's why I think the 1-up slot should be the filter instead of the new grade 1 that gets power when you hit something. That card's fine. It turns anything else into a scaler, but I personally think that setting up the early game is a little bit more important, so that's why I opt to play this card instead. Onwards to grade 2s. First off is the Takeock. I don't remember his name, but his skill is once per turn, if your Vanguard's a brawler and you are in Legion state, you can CB1 to have him gain the skill. When your Vanguard's attack hits, he gets plus 5k. So, assuming you're a Big Bang Knuckle Buster, he hits 4 times, so plus 20k. So by itself, this card, if you manage to hit 4 cards, is what, 29. So that's already over a defensive. A damage with the defensive, hits cross bases too. If you have a booster, you hit over 2 defensive, so this card just scales are really big. But the main reason why this card is so good is because it has resist. So your opponent cannot target this, cannot retire it, they cannot lock it unless it's with something like Blaster Joker. This card is absolutely nuts. It's a scaler and it has resist, so very good card. And honestly, one of the reasons why I think this deck is even so good to begin with, because resist intercepts are broken, and this deck just happens to have one. Next up is I don't remember its name, but it's the mate to the Big Bang Knuckle Buster. So its skill is during your turn, if your Vanguard's a Big Bang Knuckle, he gets plus 2k, so he does 11k, meaning he can solo hit by himself. And his other skill is when your Vanguard with Big Bang Knuckle in his name hits, hits anything, he gets plus 3k. So again, this is one of the cards that scale really big. Like all your grade 2s are like this, but this is the best one besides this, besides the Takeoff, whatever this guy's name is. But this card requires a counterblast, so yeah. Yeah, this is your best one that doesn't cost a counterblast. So good card. Definitely your best scaler aside from that, especially if you don't have the counterblast to use for it. Next up is the Big Bang Knuckle something. Who cares what this card's name is? When your Vanguard, whose brawler name hits anything plus 3k. So again, more things that scale. What do you do? And this one is the mate to the original Big Bang Knuckle Dragon. So yeah. I do know these cards are not named Big Bang Knuckle, otherwise they'd proc on grade 2. So, but yeah, these cards scale. Yeah, and the important thing is that they do not have Big Bang Knuckle in name because these cards do not proc on grade 2. All right, so yeah, so chat has got my back for once. The Big Bang Knuckle Slash and Slash Buster, cool names. This dude, Lysay, his skill is lastly he's a 2-of in the deck. His skill is when your opponent's rear guard's retired if you are in Legion state plus 3k. So a little worse because the on hit skills also counts when you're attacking Vanguard, but since this card only counts retire, it doesn't count the Vanguard hit because you're not retiring anything on that hit. So this card is just a strictly worse copy of these cards, of this card, and this card for scaling purposes. But he still does the job, and more importantly, I'm playing the 1 shotgun, and I do need the mate for this, and I think 1 mate is a little too iffy, so I choose to opt to play 2 in these slots. So yeah, if you're playing something else in the 1 slot, you don't value this 1 shotgun, you can definitely cut these 2, play a 4th of this card, of the OG Big Bang Knuckle Dragon's mate, and then play like 1 whatever in this last slot. Other choices that I've seen people play are the Stormbring Dragoon or Dragon, the on-hit CB1 to check top 5 for grade 3, and that card's perfectly fine. Counter charge is fine too, but you don't really run into counterblast issues with this deck, so I think that's a little not important. So yeah, but since I'm playing the 1 shotgun, the 2 last is very nice. Is not nice, needed for the deck. So yeah. And finally, the grade 3s. First off, the new card, the new kid on the block, the new Boogeyman of Ladder, Big Bang Knuckle Buster. He legions with the 11k grade 2, or the one that can't be 11k grade 2. And his skill is once per turn, if you're in Legion, you can CB1. Choose a card from your hand named that has Big Bang Knuckle in it, but Big Bang Knuckle in name, and put it into your soul to give himself 5k, which is honestly irrelevant because the thing is always swinging first, so this is actually irrelevant, but it gets 5k, so cool. And he gets the skill, and this card attacks, you attack 4 cards. But this is including Vanguard, so when you do this, you swing at Vanguard, and then if they have double intercept, you swing the 2 intercepts, and then you choose 1 thing in the back row to swing at that as well. Obviously, if they don't have 2 intercepts, you can swing at more cards in the back row, etc., etc. So if they have like no intercepts in the front row, you could just bash their entire back row. They have 1 intercept, you can hit the intercept plus 2 back row. So yeah, that's definitely something to note. If you're wondering how this works, you just choose. It's kind of like how retire, you choose what to attack. And then finally, he has Cross-Ride Base with the original Big Bang Knuckle Dragon. I don't know why they gave him, this is the only card with Cross-Ride Base. It's actually really good that this card has it because you're 13k base while killing their boosters every single turn. It also makes it so 12k attackers don't hit you unboosted, forcing them to commit more cards onto the board. So yeah, definitely really good that this card just happens to have Cross-Ride Base too. And since his skill puts the card from hand into the soul, you just auto get the Cross-Ride Base without even going to the Big Bang Knuckle Dragon first. So very, very good card. This card is definitely the reason why this deck is even so good to begin with. Next, look over the old Big Bang Knuckle Dragon. Legions with the original thing that scales. The 9k gets plus 3k Vanguard Brawler with Vanguard name hits. His skill is if you're in Legion state, CB2, he gets 5k and he swings at everything. Just everything in the front row. So he only hits the things in the front row. He can't swing anything in the back row. And plus 2k when attacking Vanguard. This card is mainly played just to have Knuckle name and have a full Cross-Ride Base. Rarely ever do you actually want to ride this card just because the Big Bang Knuckle Buster is better than this card in every single way. I will say though, in certain matchups such as Deleters, you might want to hold on to 1 copy of this card so that when they delete you, you can just ride into this and not need another Big Bang Knuckle in your hand to pay for cost. So So if your hand is like two busters and one dragon, sometimes on your first turn you will ride into the buster first, Legion, put the buster into the soul instead of the dragon, so you can punch their board, and then when they delete you again, you can pay the cost to just, then you rewrite this instead, so you don't need to pay for, you don't need to put have another copy of a Vivid Knuckle in your hand to punch the front row. So just something to note. It has niche uses like that, but for the most part, this card is just the Fifth Crossride base, Fifth name for the buster, and yeah, realistically you never actually want to ride this. Obviously, the more common scenario is that you're at the end of the game and you don't have any more of these, or actually no. If you're on the buster and you have this in your hand, you can just put it in the soul. But yeah, so very niche scenarios, you might want to ride this, but yeah, this card itself is still fine. And then one of the Big Bang not Big Bang, you're not Big Bang, yeah, Shotgun Blow Dragon, Legion with Delise. On Legion CB2, you pop 2 rears, and after popping, you check to see if you have more units than your opponent. So yeah, since you're in Legion, your Vanguard does count as 2 cards, so your Vanguard does count as 2 units. And if you have more than them, he gets +1 crit, and then when attacking Vanguard +2k. So just a filler one of. You can definitely play this as your heal trigger instead over the my choice of the Unlocker. But right now, the Link Joker is fucking everywhere. Oh right, yeah, I completely forgot. With random retire with priority to back row. Yes. You cannot just choose. It retires to the back row. Yeah. So yeah. Back to what I was saying before. I think Link Joker is everywhere. I think the Unlocker is a little more important right now. I do own a playset of this. I just choose to not play the playset of it right now. So yeah. Obviously, if you're in a meta with less Link Joker, you definitely should not play the Unlocker. You should definitely play Shotgun as your playset of heals instead. So yeah. But right now, as of recording this, Chaos just got its buff. People are like playing around that shit a lot. I don't want to deal with that, so I'm playing Unlockers. And finally, the Unlocker. Vanguard skill, Limit Break 4. When it drive checks to grade 3, you can CB1 to retire grade 2, and he gets 5k. Realistically, you should never. The skill shouldn't even be, shouldn't be here. It's never relevant, but it's here if it happens to come up. But the reason you play, because it's an Unlocker. On play, Vanguard or rear, unlock a card. So yeah, it's played as an Unlocker. Because you have the Helena, you can just dump these out of your hand in matchups where they don't matter, i.e. not Link Joker. So yeah. So this is the deck profile. I think this deck is very powerful. I also think it's the best ladder deck. It's basically what I've been climbing with the entire time. So definitely look forward to it on Global. Aside from that, tell me what you think about this deck down below in the comments. Smash that like button. And I was in game for you guys as per usual, and I will see you guys next time. Peace out.